Is Opendoor the new Gamestop of 2025? That's what a lot of traders are trying to figure out right now. Let's compare it real quick and actually look at the three catalysts that could give it the volume it needs. I mean, it's already had tons of volume, but what could really make it an epic stock of the year? It's already got a lot of attention just from when they fired the CEO on Friday, or she stepped down. It surged over 200% chatter all across the internet, especially on financial platforms, all over Twitter about guessing who could be the next CEO. And just over the last month, it's obviously gone several 100% up in price. Started at 50 cents. Now, today we almost broke $4 again. The morning session is over so far, but it definitely had momentum build over the weekend. But let's compare something very important real quick for anyone that's maybe like I personally learned how to trade stuff like this because of GameStop, because I made so many mistakes trading GameStop. And it took a lot of people time, unless you were a very good trader when GameStop happened, to even understand like how it did happen or how to trade it. So the main difference between GameStop and Opendoor right now is the short interest. GameStop had what's called a gamma squeeze, and that's mostly due to the short interest being 100%, or I think even over 100%. It was more shares than they even had. So the Opendoor is much lower. It's definitely a meme stock, but I think the short interest in Opendoor right now is in the 20% range. So that's a huge difference right there. Difference number two is, both companies' fundamentals aren't great. I mean, GameStop was obviously a failing company. It never came back. Opendoor, it's finally starting to turn the corner as far as profitability. It's making progress at least. GameStop never did. But the main thing with GameStop was it became like a movement of Main Street versus Wall Street, retail traders versus institutional traders. Because institutional traders thought they could just crush retail traders, just kept doubling down, and it obviously didn't work out too well for them. So in this case, the only scenario I see with Opendoor that could compare to that is if it became retail traders versus the Fed and trying to be another voice to lower the interest rates, like Donald Trump has been screaming for the past couple months. That's a whole different story. So the last thing is the three main catalysts to look for, which the rumors will probably make the stock price run much more than if it actually happens, unless it does become a long-term story. But keep in mind, any meme stock could outweigh Opendoor at any time. But for the meantime, it has the most interest. And the three catalysts are they're trying to see who would be the next CEO. That'll get people excited. Trying to see if the Fed is definitely going to cut rates or not at the next meeting. And trying to see if another speculation, if Opendoor is going to buy Bitcoin or some kind of legit crypto. That seems to be what a lot of stocks are doing right now to have a nice pump in their stock price. And Eric Jackson, he calls himself the Nirvana guy or Carvana guy. He's obviously been pumping the heck out of it on Twitter, along with his partner or another investor in it, Anthony Papliano, something like that. Let me just show you something real quick, though. Actually, yeah. right? This is actually, go back in history, this is what actually happened with GameStop. So I was actually shorting GameStop. Thank God I stopped shorting it before it took off. Back when it was $5. And then Michael Burry, the guy from the Big Short movie, famous investor, that's when he started saying he sees value in it. And that was good enough for me to stop shorting it. That's when it went up to like $15 a few months later. And I was like, oh man, I missed it. It went up to 30. And I was like, that's definitely the max. And this is what happened next. This huge candle where it went from $100 to over $600. And that is what people are speculating could possibly happen with Opendoor. Probably on a much lower scale. I mean, they've already increased the price target from $82 to $200, which would look the same chart-wise and probably percentage-wise too. But yeah, this is what everyone is hoping could happen. And even big-time traders like Christian Kulamagi actually tweeted about it. And that's a pretty big deal because he is famous for capturing the upside and watching for overextension. So that's the last part of this, to keep yourself safe trading this, because it's definitely going to probably be volatile over the next couple of weeks. Is when you get the overextension, that's when every big time trader that loves to short stocks, that's their setup. So they're looking for a huge overextension. Say it goes from like $5 to $10. They're going to be trying to short the hell out of that. And on the other side, the company itself could use that as an opportunity to raise money and do what's called a round of dilution and dilute the shares. So both scenarios would cause the stock price to fall dramatically. So keep that in mind. But yeah, that's my thoughts and my thesis so far as far as can this be the next GameStop? It's definitely got a long way to go, but it's got potential so far. Since it fell back, not able to break $4 today, it would need to come back with volume to $4. I'm actually still in the trade and never hit my stop yet at $3. I really like to see it break that $4 and shoot to $5. Best case scenario, it consolidates there. Because I think at the very minimum, this is the way I'm trading at least, the stock could consolidate from 5 and start building to try and hit a $10 price target. Especially if they keep talking about lowering rates or they keep trying to find the new CEO. But probably the soonest catalyst will be next week on the 27th, I believe, August 27th, when they cancel the meeting to actually do a reverse split. At this point, there's a very low chance they would even need to do that, and that would give a lot of investor confidence if they just canceled the meeting, just decided to not do reverse split, since they're obviously way above the dollar threshold. So that is everything I'm looking for. Just wanted to share. I don't know, let me know in the comments what everyone who watches this video thinks. Where do you think it could go? Why? Feel free to ask me questions that I might not have covered, because I'll definitely be covering this for the next couple of weeks. And I guess we'll all see what happens.